Hello, my loves. So, the last couple of days have been really rough for me, mental health wise, and I think that this reading has to do with like clarity from those like couple of days of being in a rough spot. Two of the songs that have been coming to me, and one of them actually showed up in my dreams last night, was Hope by NF and Send It On by, it's like one of the Disney songs, like growing up and stuff like that. But there's a specific part of Hope that I have the lyrics for. Give me just a second. So the lines are, and this is not going to be word for word because I'm trying to like memorize all of this, but it says, growing pains are a necessary evil, difficult, yes, but beneficial. Some would say a mental breakdown is a negative thing, but it was the push that I needed. And I think that with this full moon in Cancer, I think that this is like stewing up like a whole bunch of past issues that may be causing you like a lot of emotional turmoil, but there are like answers of clarity going on right now, and those answers of clarity may be different for everybody, but I'd say when you're able to get the answers for whatever it is that you're seeking right now, it comes with a level of like comfort to the soul, a level of putting peace to the areas of your life that like you didn't, I'd say it was something that was like possibly overlooked because like there could have been a time, I'd say, since there's been so many people that have gone through a time where they had a massive transformation, a massive awakening, and a massive like generational healing all of their stuff through like their generational trauma and stuff like that, dealing with their own trauma. There may have been a time where it came to its peak around like 2 years ago, 3 years ago maybe, that there was so much stuff going on in that area that you kind of just like lumped it all together. But there could be like certain things that are still following you that traumatized you. This also may be a 2-part video just because like I feel like talking about my dream, King of Wands by the way, I feel like talking about my dream might be important, but also the realization that I had today while I was at work might be important. Queen of Cups. So with my narcolepsy and stuff like that, I deal with like very, very vivid dreams, and there's these things that come along with it. It's called hypnopompic and hypnagogic hallucinations, and basically one of them is the reason they're caused is because I go too quickly into REM. And so in the time that I'm falling asleep into this REM, I can fall into these like, it's like these dreams that feel so real that these specific dreams that I have, I can't tell the difference between reality and these dreams. And the dreams that I have, it is always the exact same thing, which is always that somebody is breaking into my house. I always hallucinate hearing somebody outside trying to like jiggle the locks, or like walking back and forth trying to find a way in, somebody outside taunting me because they're like trying to get into my house and stuff like that. And I would wake up and I would just like have to sit there and be like, I'm not there anymore. It's not, like there's no one here. I'm safe. And it didn't dawn on me until today that could be from when I lived in Colorado and I was in a really, really bad part of my life. And this was like this was 2 or 3 years ago when I was going through my peak awakening and I didn't feel safe. And I had my apartment broken into, and then I had my apartment almost broken into a second time when I moved. 7 of Wands. And for those of you who may think I'm sharing too much, I'm very open about these things, and these things don't cause me any problems. And if I can help somebody with my knowledge and with my experience that they may be going something similar, I'm more than willing to share. Also, the final cards that I've pulled so far is Knight of Wands and the Strength card. But with my dream I had last night, basically like before my dream, I was just like talking out loud, and I was talking about how I feel like I'm losing the big picture of like where I'm going. So when I'm like falling back into this like depression, and I'm falling back into these like dark thoughts and stuff like that, and kind of like a what's the point, it feels very hopeless and it feels very lonely. And I had asked just for comfort at that point. And I know that it was some sort of wound healing my parent wound, both with my mom and my dad, because I just remember saying, like, I know that I didn't necessarily get the love that I needed in that time, but I remember feeling for myself, I was like, I want my mom or I want my dad. And it's not, it was like, I want that comfort. I want that comfort to my soul and know that I feel safe. And even before I had fallen asleep, I could just feel that my soul was being comforted. And I remember Hecate was in my dream. There were messages for Athena. In the last couple of days, I've been getting messages from Athena. I saw a pueo, which is an owl, on my way home this one day. And then after I had pulled some cards, after I woke up, like the first card that came out was the Wisdom card. But in that dream, the things that I most desired, I was being shown, and I know that this isn't my future, but one of the things that I most desire is to find my divine pair. And I had talked about how I feel it's hard, I guess, and I really hope that this helps, but like, even if this is just me talking to get things out, like, that's whatever. But it's hard because I'm fine with being alone. I like my alone time, but being with my divine pair is something that I have craved, and I have no idea why I crave it as much as I do. It literally feels like insanity sometimes, and it feels like I was so, before I went to sleep, I was like, am I the only one that's like craving this? Like, is this unrequited? Like, unrequited? Whatever you want to call it. I have to go to part 2, but yeah.